I can think of only one thing that could lift my spirits right now. Beer.
Beer. Beer. Beer. Beer.
This is Drink of Ages on ESPN 97.5.
The only show dedicated to craft beer, spirits, and music.
Here's your host and luminary, John Denman.
John Denman.
All right, welcome everybody to House of Blues and this week's show. You are listening to Drink of Ages Radio here on ESPN 97.5. John Denman, Tom Painter, and got a really fun show scheduled again this week.
I think this is going to be an epic one, John.
It's definitely going to be one for the books. It's going to be, I don't know, man. The way that it's already started, there's been a few pints had before the show got rolling, which normally happens, but maybe this one was like an extra pint.
Yes.
Define a few.
I have 2 beers right in front of me from Fortress, so everything is going good so far.
Well, really cool is our music guest this week, Brandon McDermott Band. They're going to be playing on stage. You're going to listen to them in between each segment, and we're going to talk more about them later in the show. But sitting up here right now from Fortress BeerWorks, we have John O'Hara, Kevin Smith Jr., and Juan Sanchez. What's up, fellas?
Good to be here, guys. Hey.
Man, congratulations on Fortress BeerWorks.
Thanks, man. 2 year. COVID didn't kill us.
It tried, right?
Yeah, it tried.
Man, it tried to kill a lot of things.
Mostly people. The peanut gallery. Yeah, we got shut down 7 days before our 1 year anniversary, and we didn't package at the time. No, we didn't have the ability to package. So it was we had ordered a crowler machine about a week before, but yeah, it was our
God bless that crowler machine.
Yes, 20,000 cans through an October steamer in like 5 months.
Put that thing to work.
Get you some.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in the crawfish to go business too, very quickly. So pivot.
That was like the main word of all of last year. Pivot.
Pivot.
It was like, all right, pivot again. But eventually you end up back in the same place.
Yeah, and I think better than ever for most of us. Kind of made it
I would
through.
agree, actually.
You know, I think everyone learned a lot of lessons, had a lot of growing pains of like, here's your 5-year plan, truncated into 1 year.
It makes the financial side of brewing business, which sometimes gets a back seat, become real quickly, right? So I think it teaches fiscal discipline. How's that?
Yeah, I think so.
You found the weaknesses. You had to, right?
So. Yes, you become the most efficient brewer you can.
Right. Plus, it made a bunch of people get stored up, pent-up demand.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm surprised you guys didn't start like an Airbnb with all that space you guys got over there.
Campground.
It's a beautiful space.
Thanks, man.
Yes, a campground would have been perfect, John.
Mm.
We actually are a campground.
Well, they just stole the third set, because that's what we were going to unveil tonight. Thanks, guys. Scratch that, John.
So what's the story of Fortress? Like, where did you guys...
I can give you the quick story. So there was originally 4 of us, all in the oil and gas industry. A 25-year...
Oil and gas, very original.
Yeah,
Houston, Texas.
Shocker, right? Oil and gas industry guys looking to do some diversification, right? So we were in a business partner brewer, Dion. Shout out Dion, who couldn't be here. 25-year home brewer in his garage. Hey, man, like your beer's good, blah, blah, blah. The typical kind of builds. Hey, I've got a little space. We can each pitch in a couple $1,000, get a TABC license, and we'll throw some taps on the wall. And almost $1 million later, you have 6,600 square feet and 4 acres and whatever in 18 months, right? So that was kind of the Cliff Note version of it. It's snowballed. But it was an oil and gas relationship. Canadian guys, and I'm originally from Tomball, so there's a bit of mix there. So yeah, that's the shortest version ever.
You could have named the brewery Snowball. It's like a few $1,000, $1 million later.
$1 million later. Well, but that's usually how it works, though, right? I was like, hey, man, let's start a business. All right, this is only going to cost $20,000.
So we're building a restaurant at the brewery right now, at No Label.
That's a good move.
It is, and we were originally pitched. We can do this for about $100,000.
Yeah,
and it was
no.
like Randy, you get to work. And then later he's like, all right, guys, I think it's only going to cost about $500,000 to get started. It was like, like, where did all this? Whatever, we'll make it back with chicken wings. And I was like, what?
Not anymore.
7
Have you
cents
seen
at
the
a
price
time.
of chicken?
The price of chicken wings have gone up.
Very expensive. Yeah,
When-
there's a chicken wing shortage. I was at Lazy Oaks the other, and like it's like we can't source enough chicken wings to like for your 4th of July party. You can't source chicken.
Man, all I know is that I'm beginning to panic if there's going to be a true chicken wing shortage, because that's going to suck.
It's all about chicken thighs now. Chicken thighs.
I do love some chicken thighs, but
I feel like this could go south quickly. Let's be careful.
So Denman is a chicken wing aficionado for sure. Like John and chicken wings, it's a thing.
That beard looks like it could get a little sauced up, maybe spot it from a distance.
every once in a while it's just like, is that a chicken wing? And it's a chicken wing, but it works. Snack on it later. Yeah, man. When did you guys open up?
March 18th, 2019.
2019.
March
All right.
2019, day after St. Patty's Day.
Missed
yeah.
that party.
Wow.
So close.
Yeah, kind of intentionally. I don't think we were ready. I think we did what do they call that? A soft opening. It was maybe March 18th. So yeah, it's been good, man. Like community's been good. We were the first brewery in spring. Shout out to Sydney at Southern Yankee. Technically, she's just outside this in the Houston city limits. But so like, I don't know. There was quite a bit of again people around there that didn't have a brewery to go to. They'd have to go to Conroe or 11 Below or Sydney, right? And so, yeah, I feel like we took us about 9 months to find the property. That's the hardest thing, right? Usually if you find an area without a brewery, it's because there's not like a facility that kind of fits. So when we found the place, yeah, we knew we had the spot, and it was onwards and upwards from there.
I mean, the space has awesome vibes. We were talking before the show about how, like, I was out there right when you guys opened, and then I was out there like a month ago dropping off some beer. But like just the way you guys have enveloped that space, like in this short amount of time, it's I mean it's so. I was like, where do these containers come from? It's like,
I feel like we're going to get
that's
to
where
that
we
here in
make
a
the food.
second. I'm going to shout out to Kevin here. He's with me, who was the container fabrication guy, and has actually done quite a bit of stuff over at No Label too. So I feel like there's some ties
Sweet.
in here.
There's a side conversation. I need some more containers.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Been talking to Logan, by the way.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
We can hit that up.
so yeah.
Business
man,
transactions on the radio.
I know, right? I think as long as you're
This is
making
the sideshow about storage containers, John.
right.
That's
It's EMS. Shout out EMS.
But you guys have storage containers on the facility, and that's what you use to make food?
Yeah, so they became like our outdoor food truck area. So Kevin, and again, we'll maybe get into this and kind of what's happening next in Fortress Misfit BeerWorks, which is kind of a Fortress second location in Cypress that's coming. Kevin and I are friends and kind of met a few years ago. He's got history with No Label and history with other places where he does container fabrication. It was modular. It allowed us to kind of expand space quickly. We did it in a remarkably short amount of time. And it opened it up, and it just made people go, oh, this is really cool. Hey, you don't have to permit this? It's like, oh, sweet as that. So you don't have to do this. It's movable. So, yeah, the containers made a lot of sense for us.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and I'm a believer, man. If people see you constantly working on the place, they know you care. Give a crap. Sorry, I'm watching the language thing here. They know you care, and so, man, I always want to kind of improve the place, and I think if you're doing that, you're going to keep people coming back.
And incremental improvements are always that thing that gets people really excited about, to come back out. It's like, hey, we got this, and now we have this, and
Just something new every time they come out.
The work is never over.
Yeah.
Because you're constantly, and then what does Fortress look like 10 years from now?
A roller coaster.
St. Arnold's Beer Garden,
I
I
think
hope.
it's been renamed Snowball in 10 years.
Yes.
It should look like St. Arnold, or actually maybe look like Noble Able here in 3 years or something. Right?
Yes. No, you should. Yes, the game plan is snowball. Where does this go? But where does Fortress go in like 10 years?
It's actually a good segue. So yeah, it's kind of it's new. I wouldn't say it's been announced, but I'd say it's been moderately announced. We were just kind of acquired a place in Cyprus that if you're from Cyprus, you'll probably know what it is. It's called The Shack. A bit of like a hippie love compound. It's an interesting spot, but it's got a cool vibe to it.
And a lot of history.
And like the quick history is we met Juan Sanchez over here. There's some fans on the crowd. So yeah, we met Juan a couple of years ago. Unbelievably talented home brewer. Always wanted to open a place in Cyprus. He and I started kind of getting close. Again, I'll give the intro and turn it over to them. I'm noisy as it is. But anyway, met Juan, was like, hey man, he's like, I really want to open a place in Cyprus. Maybe didn't have $1 million to throw down. We had the horsepower of 4 people, whatnot. So kind of over time, as we got to be closer, it made sense. Is hey, how do we take Fortress that we've got the ability to have beer and all these things and do the help stand it up and have his talent as a brewery, right? So opportunity came up to acquire the Shack. We currently we're operating it as the Shack today for the next few weeks. We're going to flip it and it'll be Fortress Beers. Then we're going to have a 5-barrel brew house that will be Misfit BeerWorks, and the Misfit BeerWorks will be the location. So it's kind of our.
That is exciting.
Yeah. So it's what we think is, man. It's very hard as a talented home brewer. To be able to start up, right? We learned from when we took the property in Fortress and when we were generating revenue was like 10 months. So I probably don't have, the cash burn is really tough, right? Most people can't stand that. So we found the right place, we stand that up and then say, all right, now we've got this, we got a little revenue stream. Now how do we make it Juan's place, right? And how does it become Misfit BeerWorks and really or Misfit Outpost? It turns into Misfit Outpost, but what really is showcase his talent, right? Still have kind of Fortress Beer as the backstop, but then let Juan kind of shine through. So yeah, and I would add, so kind of where the container things and Kevin, so Kevin becomes kind of like in Fortress for us, it's kind of I'm the business side and Dion is the brew side and the production side. Very much we're trying to mirror that with the Misfit Outpost where Kevin's kind of that backstop on the business side and let's Juan be a kick-ass brewer, right? I think that's the intent.
Man, that's pretty badass. And congratulations on all of this. But let's take a break because I'm about to be out of beer, and that just doesn't work well for the show. So let's take a break. We're going to listen to some Brandon McDermott Band. When we get back, we'll talk more with Fortress BeerWorks, Misfit Brewing, everybody, and we're going to learn more about what's happening.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Drink of Ages, be right back.
I see you sitting there, you would sit in that empty chair, and I wonder who you save it for. Do you come here every night, forget love in the neon lights, or are you just a stranger passing through? I don't know where you came from tonight, I don't know where you've been. Someone you love, you the one I've been dreaming of. What if I came and said hello to you? Would you mind if I sat with you? If it comes I'd gladly move, but I'd never forgive myself if I didn't try. I don't know where you came from tonight, I don't know where you've been. but I will always be true if you can find it in your heart to give me a chance. We don't have to run away tonight. We can talk till the morning light, but for now, won't you let me have this chance? I don't know where it came from tonight. I don't know where you've been. I don't think I could live this life if I never saw you again. I don't know where you came from tonight. I don't know where you've been. I don't think I could live this life if I never saw you again. If I never saw you again. If I never saw you.
Platypus Brewing, brewed with a Texan heart and Australian soul. Local brew craft beer, full restaurant, wine and cider, private event space located a stone's throw from downtown at 1902 Washington Avenue. What's your choice? Taco Tuesday, Surf and Turf Steak Night Wednesday, Barbecue Thursday, Smoked in House, Fish and Chips Friday, the best in town, covered patio and kids menu available, and up to 15 beers on tap, including a range of cores and always new specialties from blondes, sours, IPAs, ambers and porters and stouts. Whatever your choice, we look forward to seeing you. Hey, book your next event at Platypus, platypusbrewing.com.
Weekends are a great time to check out Megaton Brewing in Kingwood. Jared, Chris, and the gang have created a badass place to kick back and enjoy a few beers. Big stouts, approachable sours, and plenty of hoppy brews are on tap at Megaton. Lots of space to hold your birthday party, corporate outing, or any event in one of the most unique tap rooms in the Houston area. Check them out on social media for their concert and event schedule. Megaton Brewery. Hope to see everyone at the vault. You may have noticed there have been quite a few changes at No Label, and they are steadily pumping out tasty brews. With their new head brewer, Trailer, bringing in his West Coast brewing skills, taps have been flowing with lots of hoppy deliciousness like Cali Boy West Coast IPA. I'm real excited about what they're doing on the west side. Tap room is open 7 days a week, very family and dog friendly. Make the short trip to Katy and see what is happening at No Label. Follow them on social media for events and beer releases. No Label Brewing Company. Have an event in mind and looking for a place that is fun and beer is involved? Host your next event at a brewery. At Spindletap, they have full venue rental and partial rental options that are perfect for company events, birthday parties, weddings, receptions, and more. Host a memorable event at a venue that offers a fun atmosphere and many amenities. Email info@spindletap.com or call 713-325-1477 to get more details. Key T Wellness, our friends down in Dickinson, is where you need to go if you're feeling sluggish, non-energetic, and non-motivated, not just when you're hungover. Get to know your numbers. As we get a little older, our hormone levels change, men and women. Key T Wellness can help. Weight loss, hormone optimization, low testosterone, B12, Botox, and more. Stop in and tell them that you heard it on Drink of Ages and get a free B12 shot. KeyTWellness.com. Why not feel your best again? KeyTWellness.com. All right, welcome back to some more Drink of Ages Radio here on ESPN 97.5. John Denman, DJ Muskratch sitting over there. Tom Painter sitting right over here.
Looking
Fortress
into your eyes.
BeerWorks sitting at the table with us. We just got finished listening to some Brandon McDermott Band. Badass.
Rocking out.
Badass.
You can find them on Friday, July 23rd at Old Quarter Acoustic Cafe. That is a badass place, man. If you've never been down there, go check it out.
It's a fantastic place. By the way, they have the second hottest drummer since Ringo Starr.
Second? All right.
First.
Yeah,
Subtle
man.
Shots fired at Brandon for the earlier comment.
Shots fired. Brandon. He's not even in here. Anyway, go ahead. Actually, the old acoustic, what is it? Yes, that's a good spot.
It is a good spot. Fortress BeerWorks. Sue's hanging out with us now. I think it's time to open up some beers.
From Misfit BeerWorks.
This
Misfit
is the best
BeerWorks.
part of the show.
Or what did I say? Misfit Outpost.
So, what beers are we going to open up now?
All right. Well, let's see. The first one we got up is going to be just an American lager. We did for a good friend of ours, Ralph I Fear No Beer.
For the old Corn Hub.
For the Corn Hub, yeah.
Yes.
Shout out Ralph.
Yeah,
I
where
fear
is
no
Ralph?
beer.
Yeah.
Ralph is 2 buildings away. Yeah, he's
you
like
still
he's a
heard it
guest on this
clearly.
podcast.
You heard that too, right?
Yeah, so I'll if I can jump in. So these are Misfit Outpost beers, which are like the new brewery, these are from the creative genius that is Juan. So everything we brought today is to kind of pump up his badassness. I think you can say that on the radio.
Yes,
So
you can say
so
badassness
everything
all day long.
everything that's here today is tied to Juan and his brewing genius. We just want Fortress to enable and get out of the way.
Well, I mean, before we get started on this, though, I am drinking the blonde that you guys make, and we have it on tap here at House of Blues.
Yes.
So, really good.
Thanks, man.
Yes, I mean, it's what a blonde should be, right? Nice, easy, goes.
Careful.
Oh, hold on. Time out.
Careful.
Slippery slope.
Careful.
So let's talk about this beer.
I got bubbles in my glass. Does that mean
Ralph?
it's dirty?
Listen
It's
for Ralph,
delicious,
guys.
and you know it is. What's that voice in my ear?
You're going to hear that in your sleep, by the way.
I know.
It's delicious.
So often you go to like a craft beer event and you'll see John first and you'll hear Ralph first. It's the whole.
That's usually how it works, yeah.
But this is exciting. This is actually like Misfit. You know, having worked with Joshua all day for like a year, he had the largest Misfit boner all the time. There's just
Yeah.
Misfit.
Josh was actually.
Was it the largest boner or just the most aggressive?
No, it's the largest Misfit boner. That's
Yeah.
I just didn't know if this was it.
Shout out to Josh, though.
Shout out to Josh.
Shout out to Josh.
Shout out to Josh. You left me and went to Carbach. Good for you.
Josh was actually.
Rest in peace.
Enjoy your stock option.
He's effing dead to us, by the way.
Yeah.
Went aggressive from boner to that. But here we go.
Yeah, I met Josh, I think, in 2019.
No, we don't even talk about him anymore. Let's move on.
No, he did a.
Didn't you hear?
He did a photo shoot for the Vienna Lager. I did, I think, back in November of that year. That's when I really got to know him, and then his creative mind and how he operates. And then after that, it was just kind of, we just grew from there. And here we are today. Based from that photo shoot, Beer Chronicle came along, and then it's just kind of flourished from there. And that's really what pretty much put me on the map as far as an online presence of homebrewers, or up and coming, so to say. But
so for anyone listening, Josh is a beer photographer
Extraordinaire.
extraordinaire. He made his mark in Houston, and he's just been splashing beers. And he worked at No Label for about a year. Acquired him. It was just like and
Then all of a sudden he got his dream job.
everyone was like, you can't hold him for long. Yeah. But it was always amazing to walk onto the yard and just see him like. He's like, man, I'm about to blow up some cans and splash things, and I was like, however you earn your paycheck, just and you just be making messes all day long, and then eventually you get like this image and you be like, that's beautiful.
that's pretty awesome.
That's pretty and but he's an amazing guy. He's also a champion of craft beer.
It works for InBev.
And,
Champion of
yeah,
craft
that's
beer.
what I'm saying.
I'm sorry, he was a champion of craft beer. And
Shout out to Josh. Hey, we were actually his last contract gig taking pictures before he went to work for the Evil Empire.
wow.
Corn Hub. Let's get back to Corn Hub
Yes.
for a
All right.
minute.
Let's go back to Corn Hub. But Kevin, do insert some Amazing Grace bagpipes for shout out to Josh. May you rest in peace.
So Corn Hub is just an American lager I did with laurel hops. Laurel hops are pretty amazing as far as how this beer came out. I did it for a dear friend of ours, Ralph Palmer.
Listen.
So he did we basically kind of played on the obviously the Pornhub, but Ralph was pretty creative on doing a corn-based food menu. So we brewed it, we lagered it for a good 6 weeks, and then we canned it. pretty simple grain bill, just American American lager yeast. But yeah, I always have a fascination for lagers. I think that your brewing technique really comes out when you make lagers. I think if you try to do things a certain way, it kind of shows. But this beer was really fun. I think when I first started lagering it, tasting it as it progressed or as it maturated, you can really get a feeling of the nuance and how these beers really really condition and how the time really makes a big difference when you properly lager a beer. And I think, you know, when as brewers, I think it's kind of, you make a beer and you have to wait the 2 weeks to ferment, and then you're kind of impatient, like, I want to try it now, I want to have it on tap now. But just the patience to actually wait and see your beer, I guess, progress as a child into the final product is a more beautiful thing. So, but anyways,
and most brewers think of their beers as children.
Yeah,
so
for
yes,
sure.
So this is
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm still waiting on my children to blossom into
fully drinkable products. They're delicious.
What do we got next, Juan?
Let's open up something else.
So let's mix in some. Let's do.
In the meantime, tell us more about this connection between Fortress and Misfit.
Yeah. So funny story. I met Dion through a mutual friend before they opened. I think they were trying to, from what I remember, they were trying to make some keg space. I think they were really trying to get their brew house in order. They were trying to make keg space. So one of our friends was like, hey, man, like, I'm at this brewery. Come over, you know, we'll meet the brewer, the owner. And then, so I met Dion. And then not too long after that, I started kind of taking my beers there and meeting up people there. And then after a while, I think one of the bartenders snitched on me and called John, and he was like, hey man, there's this homebrewer dude giving away his
Dude's
beer,
slinging beers up.
yeah,
in,
he's
up in
like
the, up
this
in the joint.
homebrewer dude slinging beers at the brewery, and this John
Popped
was like,
his trunk
yeah,
and selling it right here.
and John was like, oh well, who is this? He's like, oh, this is a Misfit guy. And then I'm assuming by that time John had kind of maybe figured out who I was. John was like, oh, he's fine. So then I think maybe like 2 weeks after that. Actually, it was right after COVID. No, before that.
Before COVID.
It was way before that.
Nobody remembers before or after.
It's a blur, right?
Yeah, of course.
So-
I did what any business person would say. It's like, yeah, no problem. We get $2 from every beer he sells.
So then I started taking my beers up to Fortress and through Dion, and then I met John, and then just progressively just tasting the beer, kind of talking through it, and just kind of what my vision was. And I think over the years, it was kind of like, hey, like, this is what this guy's doing. This guy's hustling, doing this, doing that, with merch, social media, website. And then progressively, when I started taking the idea of opening up a brewery more seriously, seeing as Dion and John at the time have already gone through it, I took John more on as a mentor. And kind of really
call me old?
Huh?
I always feel like mentor's old.
No.
Your hair looks good.
Not at all.
Hair looks good.
Hair looks good.
So then after a while, after a few meetings, lunches here and there, just kind of hanging out, really asking him the true dark side of opening up a brewery and what it really takes. And, John was very transparent as far as like, hey man, like, you have to
$1 million.
Yeah, like you have to have like
You have to go
this in
strong.
order. You have to have that in order, or else it's going to be this. And I really appreciated his transparency with that. And yeah, after a while, it was just kind of like, hey man, like, where were we? Annex? I think it was in Annex in the Vintage, and we were kind of like, hey, why don't we just try to, maybe this will work. And then you're like, you know what? Maybe it will. And then I think literally, as we left Annex in the parking lot, John had texted me. He's like, hey, man, I think this will really work. And I was like, yeah, I think me too. And then I think we kind of slept on it for a few days. And then the texts and the conversations. And then, then I got to meet Kevin. And then everybody was on board. And then, it was just kind of flourished from there. And I couldn't be more grateful, than
Well, just the fact that that location came up.
Yeah,
that's going to be pretty sweet.
That's a significant location.
I would call it a fortuitous, right? And I get that this is probably where Kevin dovetails in, and we looked at a place that was kind of on Telge, and again, and Juan, man, like passionate about how good he is.
Buy the
Place on
street
Telge.
and have it fortuitous lane.
I know, right? And then, funny enough, we were talking. It's like Kevin was like, of course, he becomes our container guy and all these things and this business savant. And he's like, oh, hey, and things were kind of going south of the other place we were looking at. And he goes, hey, I just found the shack is for sale. And I was like, you're dissing me, whatever you can. You're shitting me. And I was like, really? So I was like, literally Sunday morning. By then, we drive over there. We meet. Within 5 days, I think it's in full motion, like full motion. So I feel like, I don't know, what do they call it, divine intervention or just like, I don't know, luck and what do they call that? When the luck's not just timing and opportunity and work, whatever. It just came together so quickly that said, and then I thought like, oh, Kevin and Juan are, man, a fit. Like the whole thing came together quickly. To give you an idea of how fast this happened, that conversation was 8 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I say when we were all on board from probably our initial meetings, I think we recognized our drive and passion for the idea, and we just said, you know what?
Well, it's pretty sweet that, I mean, you guys, just a couple years into it now, all of a sudden have a whole nother amazing, like the new location is going to be even better than the first one, right?
We hope so.
Yes. Yeah. So
that's the idea, right?
2 locations and different beers going on there. Brewing everything at the there's going to be a smaller brew house.
Yeah. So we'll have the core beers at Fortress. That's part of the model. Is like have beer to stand up. The shack location or Misfit Outpost, and then we can let's commission the brew house and then start selling beer. I think by the end of the year, it's kind of our target. We'd have a mix of kind of Fortress staples. We'll have the blonde on, but they're going to have some of Juan's artistry that I think will be resounding hits.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Crazy story, but that's what happens.
Tunes time?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Is that a segue into live music?
Well, it's kind of like
it is time. It is time to listen to some more live music from Brandon McDermott Band. This is Drink of Ages Radio Show. We are going to take a break. And, man, real quick, though, this is pretty damn tasty.
Yeah, what is this? Real quick,
Yeah.
What is this one?
This beer that we're having now is Dead Sonnet. It's our collaboration with Patience Brewing. So basically, I did an American lager with jasmine flowers and orange blossom honey in 2019. Me and Patience, or Jonathan from Patience, we actually talked about this collaboration at Fortress. And we're like, hey, we should take your original lager yeast, we should wild it and blend in some lambic yeast and some saison yeast, and then we'll adjunct it a little bit differently, and we came up with this beautiful thing.
And it is really tasty.
It is
tasty.
nails.
So.
Yep. All right, let's take a break. This is Drink of Ages Radio Show. We'll be right back.
Sit alone, listen to the songs that I wrote for you, like I make believe you do. You remember what you said, not to let me standing there in the rain. Do you ever say my name? Well, I bet you're doing fine. Cross your mind, yeah. Well, I wish I could say the same. When I cross the causeway, I still hear your name, hear your name. Do you ever long for the nights we haunt your dreams? Do you wake up wishing I was there with you? Oh God, I wish that were true. Well, I bet you're doing fine. Bet I never even crossed your mind. Yeah. Well, I wish I could say the same. But when I cross the causeway, I still hear your name. Well, I bet you're doing fine. But I never even crossed your mind. Well, I bet you're doing fine. But I never even crossed your mind. Yeah. Well, I wish I could say the same. But when I cross the causeway, I still hear your name. When I cross the causeway, I still hear your name. When I cross the causeway, I still hear your name. When I cross the causeway, I still hear your name. Hear your name.
The most fun and good times Beer Fest is back, happening November 11th through the 13th at Katy Mills Mall, featuring multiple stages of live music, food trucks, multiple party zones, and of course, lots of beers to try. Over 600 if we are counting. VIP is where you want to be, but general admission is still a great time. Get your tickets today for Wild West Brew Fest November 11th by going to wildwestbrewfest.com, one of the premier brew fests in the country, wildwestbrewfest.com. This week's Brew Ops bottle release at True Anomaly is Commander Wonderlick, which brings together a few of the best qualities found in the neighborhood. True Anomaly convinced 8th Wonder to do a Belgian beer, and of course they went big with a Belgian Strong Ale. True Anomaly scooped out some and conditioned it in one of their funky fooders for half a year. It's no wonder that this blend starts with rustic cedar and oak notes both in the nose and initial tasting, while finishing with a long spice touch. Both elements build and profile throughout the glass while getting a little help from the healthy ABV backbone to balance. Get some in the tap room over at True Anomaly before it's gone. Live shows are back at House of Blues with Max Flynn this Saturday, and next Tuesday, join us for the recording of Drink of Ages radio show with Ingenious Brewing and music guest Dim Roots Music. J Hooks Blues on Wednesday the 16th, Texas Sundown Band on Thursday, John Egan Friday at 5:30, and Thunderpants 80s cover band at 8. Come hungry. House of Blues restaurant makes some great food. The restaurant is open Tuesday through Sunday at 5 p.m. houseofblues.com/Houston for more events and info. Go see a show.
Hey, this is Blake Harris, the general manager at Rudyard's British Pub. Just want to invite you guys out to our Thursday night steak and pint night. It's $25 for a 16-ounce New York strip, party potatoes, Caesar salad, and a free pint. As well, starting at 7 o'clock, we've got $4 pints all night long. Right now, we're doing about 20 on draft, and in the near future, we will be increasing that number. So come check us out. We're at 2010 Waugh Drive in Montrose.
Enjoying tonight's show? Have a vision you need to make a reality? Reach out to Hell and High Water Productions. I did. Jason and the crew produce each Drink of Ages YouTube show. Corporate events, concerts, commercials, live streams, they have the skill and technology to make it happen. Come Hell and High Water. They are here to serve you. Give them a call at 832-356-9701. All right, welcome back to the last segment of Drink of Ages radio show here on ESPN 97.5, live at House of Blues, Houston. We're sitting in a restaurant in front of the Voodoo stage. I'm John Denman, Tom Painter, the co-host, DJ Muskratch over there. Jason Esparza does all the badass video. You can find us on our YouTube channel if you want to watch what actually happens, like actually see us sitting around drinking beer, because, I mean, I'm not going to lie, man, it's a good time.
Pretty men.
Subscribe to our channel, YouTube, Drink of Ages, and, man, you listen to music. On top of having great bands like Brandon McDermott Band, we have a lot that you can go back and listen to. And speaking of that band, Tom, They're going to be playing at No Label on Saturday the 31st of this month.
I know. It's amazing how all this stuff works out, John.
It is. You want to hear something even crazier? They're playing at Spinal Tap August 28th.
When are those bastards playing at Fortress?
That's when they need to be playing some Fortress.
October.
It's coming
From
up.
the man himself, October. What about at Misfit Outpost?
Also
November.
October.
ASAP. I'll take it. I'll take that.
So between you and me, John, we should probably take a bet on whether it's going to be raining or it'll be like just a goddamn heat soaker. Like between, it's literally the last Saturday in August and the last Saturday in July. So it's kind of like it's a
There's really no telling what's going to happen with this weather right now. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I like the fact that I'm not watering anything and everything in my yard is growing 10 times faster than it should. But at the end of the day, man, I kind of miss sunshine.
John and I have a mutual friend, KPRC's own Justin Stapleton. And
Shout out.
And I will send him messages like daily. Like I'll just like text him at 4 a.m. It's like, are you kidding me? He's like, suck it up, Buttercup. It'll be okay.
He's a brewery guy. He's been
guy,
to our
he
place
does
a
like
bunch
beers.
too, huh? Like,
Yes.
yeah, shout out to Justin Stapleton.
He is.
He is checked in from our place. I'm always like, oh, that's pretty cool. He's like a weather guy checking in. Anyway.
Yep.
This
Well, whenever you do your job like 30% of the time, you need some beers, man.
How hard is being a weatherman?
I'm just joking, but
It's not very hard.
there was one time Justin and I met up at we went to like 4J Nano Brew Pub in Spring Branch, and he was like, I need to meet up. I don't want people to find me. I was like, hey, have you been to 4J yet? He's like, I haven't been. I was like, it's a little off the beaten path. No one will find you there. I walk in there, and there's a beer and brews, a business and brews event, which is a giant business networking event. I walk in, I'm 5 minutes ahead of him, and everyone's like name tags, and I'm just like, oh no,
Wait,
this is gonna.
I have a question. Weathermen are famous.
Oh, well, he is. And so then all of a sudden, like, I was just like, I went through this sea of people just networking, and then he showed up, and then I saw him about 45 minutes later because he was just inundated with people. And Stapleton was like, I hate you. I hate you so much.
He does have
right
glorious gray hair.
It's glorious. But he's a big supporter of craft beer in Houston.
No, I think actually pretty awesome. He's always checking in everywhere he goes, craft beer guy. So anyway, yeah, not to derail the thing. I'm a Stapleton fan. Chris and Justin.
both of them are pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Stapleton's
They're all right.
Equal Stapleton.
Fortress BeerWorks is who's hanging out with us. John, Kevin, and Juan.
And Misfit.
Misfit Brewing Company.
So is this gonna be like a thing you guys do? Are you guys gonna like empower like other breweries? Because this is how I'm kind of taking it. Like you guys are, you guys are expanding kind of Fortress blueprint, but you guys are also empowering like
I mean,
other
if you want to
breweries.
talk about stealing a segue, you should host your own show. 'Cause that was phenomenal.
That's why he's my co-host.
It's a good word.
Yeah, you should
Powering.
keep it. Yes is the short answer.
Yes.
We have big plans, and I'll digress for a second just to say that Labor Day is the official opening of the Misfit Outpost. We have a ton of music. We have a ton of Juan's new magical beers on tap. We have a lot of really, really exciting stuff happening. So if you're in the Northwest Houston area, please come check us out. To reiterate your question,
I'm not getting a firm answer.
That is
yes,
the model.
yes,
That is
okay.
the model.
I think it's a good model.
And we really, really believe in that model. John, do you want to kind of tease future plans?
Yeah, I think it's to enable local talent is our deal. And like, how do you get brewers that are like Juan and stand them up and help them like not have to have $500,000 and go milk 17,000 family members?
It's an opportunity.
Yeah,
Just
it's
such
a
great, big opportunity.
So I see this as how we. Okay, all right, we can give you some base beers, and we want to improve our beers and make our beers good, and our beers are good. How do we utilize like a production facility to help you stand up, and then take your glory to the world, right? I think that's 100% the vision. I think this is the first step with Juan, is to say, hey man, we want you to not toil in your garage for the next 5 years and talk about how you're gonna someday pump your great beer out to the masses. Man, we want to get that shit rolling now, right? And it's like, how do we do that? So yeah, I would argue that we're probably, Fortress, Misfit Outpost is kind of our test into how to do this. And we think Juan, I don't think Juan, man, I know Juan is the right guy.
Yeah.
Backing Juan, listen, I know backing Juan and letting him be the badass to this is the first step into, hey, all right, where's the next place, right? There's some logistics things, and how do we stay close to the production?
You just stay out of Katy, you stay out of Hearst Road.
No, we will. We will. The intent is that Katie's, it's too flat for us. There's too many rice.
Actually, we could use some more things around Hearst Road.
Spindle Tap Hearst Road is a dangerous place. You stay away.
Is there anything available near the rice mills? Is that No, not there. No.
Hey, let me just say this: whatever's in my glass right now is pretty boozy.
What's in the glass now is a barrel-aged barley wine. I did it with my friend Jamie from Secret Beach Brewing, who's one of my first underground homebrew peers, who's become a really good friend of mine over the last few years. So yeah, we came up with the base, and then he had some barrels, and we had some fun with it, and I think we released this close to November, Christmas time at Flying Saucer in downtown. Shout out to Flying Saucer in downtown for letting us host this release.
We should only reference bars if they're willing to pay for that. Sorry, guys. I know. Hey, I'm looking for sponsorship for Drink of Ages. Let's go. We will holler out if you will to sponsor Drink of Ages.
But it's been a good ride. Man, like I said in the segment previous, I could be more grateful meeting John and the guys at Fortress and Kevin and the underground city of Houston for the homebrewers, man, is very receptive, and we got a lot of ideas, and there's the more and more days go on, there's more and more homebrewers coming up with crazy ideas, and that's the freedom that we have sometimes. It's just that bandwidth. Just
that and getting an opportunity like this, like meeting people that already have a brewery, and then being able to put your brewers with them and open up an establishment to serve your brewers, man, that's pretty sweet.
Well, and the key is to make sure he has creative control, right? Like that's where we have to step aside and say, Juan, we believe in you. You have to make the stuff that we believe in as magic, right? And I mean, earlier tonight I met one of Juan's friends, and he said, "Are you nervous about this working? You know, you guys have tied up a lot of finances, and things are kind of on the line." And I could honestly look at him and say, I have had zero nerves about the operation. Honestly, like, the infrastructure is really good. I know the forecast we've put together as a team is really good, but it all comes back to him. And we believe in him doing beautiful beer. And when you're built around that model, and then you have a good forecast, we're going to be great.
Yeah, I think, man, like, you know, the path to being to having your own brewery today is like going to grind at St. Arnold and going to grind at this place and grind at that place. Is that really the path? Like, is that? Do I need to spend the next 7 years making $14 an hour for St. Arnold, and then $15 an hour at the next place? Or can I go, hey man, there's a faster path to me, or for me, to get to this, right? Like, I think that's the way we look at it.
Yep.
Like, I don't think you should have, artists shouldn't have to grind for 9 years making like not good money.
As long as the product is good.
Yes.
This will probably date me, but this very You and me, John. Remember the brewery incubator?
I was gonna bring that up actually.
In downtown
the
Houston,
brewery incubator.
like 10 years, it was like a decade ago. Basically, there was a bar in Houston, and the bar was
Lucretia
all.
Brasio.
It was
I mean,
all
she was
like homebrewers.
Was it a co-op? Was it a?
It was a co-op.
Co-op, right?
Yeah,
I think I've
that's
heard
where
about
Craft Brew Cellar is now, actually.
In downtown, yeah.
In downtown,
Yeah.
and there was a brewery incubator, and she had a little small setup that would allow homebrewers to come in, brew beer, put it on tap, and sell their beer. Genius, other than
Death by Twister. It's another story.
A bunch of naked Twister and
naked
stuff like
Twister
that.
happened one night, and
but it was still way ahead of the time.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody's doing it out there, and I'm sure they're out there trying to. Man, how would you not grab talent, let them run, and just enable them to run? And I guess that's our model, or what our vision of the model is.
Yeah.
I think is, hey man, let's get out of the way, let them be successful, and let's help them survive while we get that beer to market.
And it's funny you guys are calling this a Misfit Outpost, but this is really Misfit's big kind of debut. If anything, it's the flip is true. It's a Fortress, it's Fortress home base.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's like a Fortress Outpost, but it's really...
No, it's Misfit. Yeah,
but it's Misfit, right?
Yeah.
So, you guys are empowering, to excel.
Yeah.
And then I think that model, as John and I both are just champions of craft beer and home brewers becoming great brewers and getting that message out there. And what's the message? The message is beer, good beer. And so you guys doing that, it's completely scalable. And it can keep on going. It doesn't stop.
We think so, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
pretty
think
awesome.
so.
That might be a word that John and I talk about daily.
Yeah, we think it's scalable. I would argue there's people in this audience that are fantastic brewers, right? They come here to support. They should get the opportunity to brew, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they can't go, hey, I can't quit my job because I got a family to support, whatever, and go make $13 an hour for Brock at St. Arnold to learn the ropes, right?
Yeah.
They're probably pretty good brewers.
Yeah.
They're probably, they don't necessarily need to grind in a little small brewery for peanuts. This is not shots fired, by the way. But it kind of is, right? Yeah. Because I would argue is, why should you have to go make $14 an hour at a big brewery, a big craft brewery, to be successful? I don't see it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. Not shots fired.
No.
Misfit's going to be a cool place. Well, I'm going to treat it as a pretty significant R&D type of place, maybe. Yes. I don't know if I'll brew the same beer twice, and that's probably the creative freedom that I have there. If it hits, then we'll brew it twice. But the point is to push the boundaries and just kind of also create that culture in Cypress. It's kind of a lot of people in Cypress or in that side of town, they kind of have to drive all the way into town to get some neat, newer beers. But it's just Houston is so massive. The outer city limits of Houston are just...
That northwest conduit, though, it's getting pretty filled up with some... you look at where breweries are, there's a lot of in that kind of Washington sector, Heights sector. Yeah. And then it's sparsed out everywhere else. But the northwest side of Houston is it's becoming a great craft beer corridor.
Yeah, and that was really a big opportunity when I met John. Was like, hey man, my heart is set on Cypress. This part of town is untapped, and there's so much potential, and the cards fell in our favor, and it was just kind of let's run with it. And
you guys have a great location.
Yeah,
a killer.
Sounds like a really, really great location.
It is.
Yeah.
We cannot even hide our enthusiasm on that.
Yeah.
We are really, really aggressively revamping that site. It already had a lot of good things about it, but we hope everybody comes out Labor Day because it's going to be
Labor
a really
Day weekend
show.
then, right?
Labor Day weekend.
Yeah. All right. What's going on Labor Day weekend?
So that's our official rebranding. That's when we're hanging the Misfit flag. We're going to have music stacked up Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Is there an actual Misfit flag that will be hung?
There will be a Misfit flag.
I'm campaigning for a massive pirate flag.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's still negotiating that with the team.
That is awesome.
But the location's going to get a little bit of a facelift. The music's going to be really on point, and obviously we know the beer is going to be spectacular, right?
No, it's really cool, man. I mean, you give an opportunity to. I mean, man, the beer's good. This right here, that I'm drinking right now, it's pretty damn tasty. So looking forward to sitting around drinking a lot more of these beers.
This is awesome. Also, it's amazing that everyone here at the table has acquired both ends of that place you guys have bought in, too, locations-wise.
What?
It's a whole Creekwood shack. You know, like you guys in the shack and like
there's a bunch of ties at the table.
There's a bunch of ties at this table.
Yeah. No, I think what he's saying is like, man, I would not to step in front of Tom, right? But I would say what Tom is at No Label, and man, I spent 15 minutes probably telling him how awesome their beer is in the last year. Not saying it wasn't good before, but I think they've really made strides, right? And then I would say then they're investors in Creekwood Grill, which is a Cypress institution, and Backyard Grill and Cypress Institution. All these places, we believe in the area. We're trying to bring, and I'm not, again, not to speak for Tom, man, we're I think plowing good craft beer into the area.
Cypress in that area is some of the best people you can find in Houston, and that community is like so strong, and the fact that you guys are doubling down into it is like it's really amazing. And like but the shack, you know, you guys have bought the previous location of the shack. We guys brought the previous location of the shack. You know, the two different locations, but like having both those, it's just like those are staples, and those staples are still gonna become this incredible institution of craft beer, one way or the other. Like
like we want to maintain like what people love about the place. I think it was the same thing with you guys with the shack on Telge. We want to maintain kind of that good family vibe. And
thank you for giving us back that burger, son.
Yeah, I know, right?
Hey, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate you guys coming and hanging out, man. Fortress BeerWorks.
John looked at his
Very
phone
excited,
and realized we're going way too long.
Very excited about all the cool things you guys are doing, man, especially with the second location and everything.
Juan Sanchez, Kevin Smith, Misfit Outpost. Yes.
I'm really excited about that. Brandon McDermott Band, I want to thank these guys for coming and hanging out on this week's show. Once again, let's see, July 23rd, Old Quarter Acoustic Cafe, and then Saturday, July 31st at No Label. Go check them out, man. If you look them up online, follow them, like them, support them. Fortress BeerWorks, want to thank everybody for tuning in this week to Drink of Ages radio show. You can listen to any of the old shows sponsored by No Label Brewing Company by going to drinkofages.com, Audible, Amazon. I don't know where else, Tom.
Well,
our YouTube was it Cornhub? Is that where you can find it?
Yes. And also a great shout out to I Fear No Beer,
Ralph
Palmer
I Fear No Beer
in the audience.
There you go.
And if you guys ever want to check out our show, we are here every Tuesday, sometimes Wednesdays, at House of Blues, downtown Houston, off Caroline Street. The best home we could probably be in.
You guys are great.
Yeah, appreciate everybody coming out, having a good time. Everybody be safe. We'll see everyone next week.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Changed everything. been waiting for a long, long time. Someone to come that feels so right. Here you are right by my side. But you were so close all this time. And I always thought you'd come from real far on a big jet line or a railroad car. I searched forever to the moon and stars, but there you were for the third and dark. Yeah, there you were for the third and dark. I don't ever want this to change, 'cause I don't think I would be the same. We go walking down by the sea, hand in hand, and you smile at me. The waves, they wash up around our feet, and I'm as happy as I can be. But I always thought you would come from real far on a big jet line or a railroad car. I searched forever to the moon and stars, but there you were for the third and dark. Yeah, there you were for the third and dark. But I always thought you would come from real far on a big jet line or a railroad car. I searched forever to the moon and stars, but there you were for the third and dark. Yeah, there you were for the third and dark.
Thank you. That song will be available on the radio and Spotify and everything on Monday, so go listen to it and call your radio stations and request it. We'd really appreciate it. This next song is also on our new album, and we were fortunate enough to have Ray Wiley Hubbard donate his time to us and sang some parts of this song. Unfortunately, Ray can't be here tonight, so I'll be singing his parts. The song's called That's Rock and Roll. Up our show, had nowhere to go, so we hung around backstage. We did our best to act our age. Well, we drank a lot of whiskey, maybe a cold beer or two. Yeah, we tried to be good until Ray Wiley Hubbard was through. When he got all done, he looked at me and he said, son, well, I dig what you're doing. Y'all were really grooving. Well, maybe I will see my agent, give you a call. He said, I like your guitar, boy. Why don't you try this gold-top Les Paul? That's rock and roll, that's rock and roll. As long as you're a star, you'll never grow old. No, you'll never grow old. That's rock and roll, that's rock and roll. She came up to me while I was sitting at the bar.
She said she really liked the way I strum my guitar. She said she wanted me to come back to her motel. I said I got a girl at home, so I don't think that's gonna go over too well. She said, oh, I see, but you know it's not just me. There's a girl over there, pretty blonde hair, and you and me plus her, that makes 3. Said you leave here with us, you'll get off on a technicality. That's rock and roll, that's rock and roll. As long as you're a star, you'll never grow. Oh no, you'll never grow old. That's rock and roll, that's rock and roll. We got to the brothels early. We were feeling kinda dirty, so we jumped in the river, punishing our liver. We stayed too long, forgot about our show that night in Green. Well, I'm pretty sure we made it, but then again, that could have all been a dream. That's rock and roll, that's rock and roll. As long as you're a star, you'll never grow old. No, you'll never grow old. That's rock and roll, that's rock and roll. From the tip of her tongue, will lose music to my ears. She held me tight, a kiss my lips, took away all of my fears. Well, I was writing songs about being in love, and not forever was here to stay. That's before she left me here, writing songs about going away. Gonna pour some whiskey, raise it up, and drink it down. Wanna go downtown, pretend that I hope you don't come around. Wanna pour my heart out like a fool with the drunks at this old bar. The only two things that'll see me cry are Jesus and this guitar. Songs about seeing you go, how I just don't care. I say things like you were weighing me down, and there's lots of girls out there. But you'll never know these lyrics will stay with the tears Jesus and his guitar.
Drink up! It's a drink of ages! Drink up! Now drink of ages!
John Bargerstock from KT Wellness is back with us. And John, tell us how testosterone replacement therapy can be beneficial for those who need it.
Great question. Well, a lot of guys think that it's just treating an area below the belly button region, but actually what it is treating area from head to toe. There's a lot of, symptoms that can creep up over the years because of the deficiency, but really what it helps is a multitude of things. It helps us with our mental clarity and staying focused throughout the day. It helps us avoid fatigue and be energetic throughout the day. Of course, it helps our libido and performance in the bedroom. There's studies that show it's great for the heart. It has a multitude of benefits, and of course there are risks, but the benefits far outweigh those risks.
So that's what you guys do at KT, though. You can come in, get your numbers tested, and see if you're actually a good candidate for this.
Yep. Actually, we make sure everybody qualifies for treatment before we offer that treatment. We don't just allow anyone to come in off the street and get testosterone therapy. It is a therapy, which means we bring people back to normalized, and I like to use the word optimized levels, not just normalized levels. So if they're deficient, we check the number. We verify that with a blood test. There has to be presence of symptoms. And then we put those two pieces of information and decide whether or not this person is a good candidate for treatment.
Well, that's fantastic because John and I, we kind of share birthdays. He's one day before, and we just had it. And so we're getting older, and things aren't, it's not
recovery
quite like
time
it used to be.
is not as quick as it used to be.
No, of course. But no, it's it's something every guy should know their number, where they are now, because with each decade of life, our levels drop anywhere from 10 to 20%. So it's a pretty drastic change, once you hit your late 30s and beyond.
Well, you can find out more information at ktwellness.com, and this portion of the show, the Men's Health Minute, is sponsored by KT Wellness. Unlock your potential.
Thanks, John, for having me.